Almighty Father, I believe. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
You created heaven and earth. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
I believe in Jesus Christ. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
Everlasting Son of God. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe. Oh, yes, I believe. In the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Yes, I believe. Oh, yes, I believe. In the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Yes, I believe.
Another important role in the liturgy that almost everyone would want to associate themselves with. You know, it looks like some kind of entertaining or maybe just something interesting that one would want to do. What am I talking about? Today we are going to look at the choir conducting in liturgy as a ministry. I know everyone is interested in listening and hearing about this. Well, Father Arthur Ntembla is right in the studio with me so that we continue learning and educating ourselves about the roles of some ministries in the church. Father, welcome back to our program.
So much.
Indeed, and we continue with our journey. What an interesting topic we had last week. And we would want to maybe continue with another ministry that is related to what we talked about last week. And this is the choir conducting in liturgy as a ministry.
Yeah, so last week we mentioned that in liturgy we have a number of ministries.
Yes.
We looked at the lector as a ministry, and choir conducting is one of those ministries in Mass. In fact, the choir itself is a ministry. It's a ministry, just like ushering and you know, those communion givers, the helpers. That is also a ministry. So I thought maybe it's important we look at the choir conducting as a ministry, so that we are guided about some of the practical things that we need to do and not, and that we shouldn't do.
Exactly.
Actually, we see that in many parishes, and this is not even an assumption, in many parishes there's very little happening in terms of formation of those to be choir conductors. People just learn from others. Those others also learned from others. So they develop that skill and they master the skill, and then boom, they are ready to conduct in church. Without proper guidance from the liturgical perspective, yeah, as long as they know how to flip the hands and give verse 1, verse 2 chorus,
Exactly.
and that's it. So people begin to or are ushered into the ministry of choir conduct. I always look forward to a time when we shall be commissioning choir conductors.
Wow, that was on my mind. I wanted to ask you because like you mentioned last week that lectors are supposed to be commissioned, but I've seen many choir conductors. It's just that one who is with that skill. And you know, the thing that goes on there, then you realize to say, is this something that is supposed to be done? Yeah. So Father, one thing I would love you most to talk about is basically, what is the role of this choir conductor in this ministry?
You see, basically, the role of the choir conductor is to guide liturgical singing, to guide the choir first of all, to be at the helm of liturgical singing, so that the choir doesn't get into exaggerations, so the choir sings the right songs at the right times during Mass. And also to see that there is coordination between the choir and those playing instruments. So this person called the choir conductor or choir conductress is a very key person in liturgy, in as far as singing is concerned. Very, very key, very central. Because as choir conductor, you are supposed to be the point of focus or the point of reference as far as the music, liturgical music is concerned. And Unfortunately, I must mention that sometimes some choir conductors lose their role. They are already playing the role in mass, but they lose it in the sense that they begin to be conducted by the choir. They begin to be conducted by the mood of the moment. They begin to be conducted by the assembly, by what is happening in church. So they are taken away and they are no longer in charge. It is important for us to talk about this. I developed what I can call the 10 commandments of the choir conduct.
Wow. Interesting.
The 10 commandments, and I want us to go through those 10 commandments. Something practical, not theological things, whatever, but something practical, something that every choir conductor, every choir conductress needs to, to ensure that they implement as they do the ministry.
Exactly.
So yeah, are we ready? The 10 commandments.
Yes.
The first commandment of the choir conductor is don't turn liturgical music during mass into a show.
Okay.
And here I mean into your show as choir conductor. Don't turn it into your show. Your role there is to guide liturgical singing. It is to ensure that the choir sings properly, the voices are well coordinated, the instruments and the choir are well coordinated, not to turn liturgy or mass into your show. The moment you begin to see people picking up their phones to capture you, then you know that you have turned the mass into your show.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, when these are choir masters and choir mistresses or choir conductresses, when they see people, capturing, that's when now they want to
more excited.
Exactly. Ero chafukira lumba chawa manombo. Ichalo chitambe, ichalo chimona.
Yes, tuma style.
Now, that is totally wrong, because at that moment you have turned mass into your show. Mass is not the choir conductor's show. It is not anybody's show. The owner of the show is Jesus.
Yes.
And that has to be the point of focus.
Exactly.
The rest of us that are doing the various roles in mass ministries are only there to help each other, to pray well, to focus well on this one person who is Jesus. But if the focus begins to shift from Jesus to the choir conductor,
you've lost it.
Then we don't know what we are doing anymore. Okay? If people have to pick up their phones to begin to capture, they have to capture Jesus, not to capture you as choir. Let them capture Jesus. Let people see Jesus and then capture Jesus on their phones. But once the master begins to steal the show from Jesus, then we don't know what we are doing anymore. That is the first commandment. Understand as choir master, choir mistress, that liturgy or mass is not your show.
Exactly.
Don't let people pick up phones to begin to capture you. The moment you see even just one person picking up their hand, then you know that there's something wrong. Exactly. You need to begin to bring yourself back into the correct line. Otherwise, you have gone off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The second one.
The second commandment. It is connected to what we are talking about. Choir conductor, choir conductress, moderate your dance moves. Those are things that steal the show from Jesus. You see this choir conductor conducting from the west. How do you conduct the choir from your west? You're not Fali Pupa or Kofi Olomide or Kanda Bongoman. You're not any of those people. It's not time for you to show how a good dancer you are, and that is not a ministry anymore. You have become a performer. You have become an artist. You can as well go into the stadium and call everybody to come to your show so that you can show us how do you do those dance moves. Yes. Otherwise, don't conduct the choir in mass with your waist. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. As you use the hands, don't let these hands become a distractive. you really have to moderate everything. The Thanksgiving song is very nice and very tempting to get into those to my hidden moves.
Yes.
Try to hold yourself. Try to remember that you are in front and your role is to guide the choir, not to get into the excitement of the choir or the excitement of the assembly or the excitement of the music. Be there as choir master or choir conductor in a sober manner. Be there be sober. Hold yourself. You can dance after mass, but as long as whatever is happening is during mass, please do not steal the show from Jesus by showing us your dance moves.
Okay, can I just come in with a question on that one?
Yes.
You've just mentioned during Thanksgiving, and maybe the dance or maybe the step that has been put for that song, you as a choir person, choir conductor, are supposed to guide. And you give that step, the choir is dancing. Are you not also supposed to dance through?
Now, the dancing that we are talking about here is Vina Momenewa Inverera. That's the kind of dance. There are those liturgical dances that we do in Mass,
yes.
Okay? Those that we were even rehearsing as a choir when we were preparing to come and sing in this
yes.
Mass. Sometimes choir they might even forget ni dancing so as choir masters, choir conductors, it's fine. You can guide. You can even dance liturgically with the choir. Now, as choir conductor, there is a high temptation of getting off that liturgical dance, because you are in front of the people and all eyes are on you. So you might get into the temptation of, I may as well just show them some other dances, After all, it's just for 2-3 minutes.
Yes.
And then you show us those hidden dances. No, we don't want to see those other dances. What we want to see is liturgical dancing. That is the only thing we want to see during Mass.
Noted.
Okay, so we get to our third commandment. As choir master, as choir mistress, conductress, choir conductor, do not start demonstrating what is in the song. It is not your duty to demonstrate what is in the song. Okay? This actually relates also to, I think we must have mentioned last week when we were talking about lectors. I don't know, I can't remember if we mentioned this, that when you are reading, the reading could be a bit dramatic.
Yes. Okay?
There is a bit of, it's like a movie or it's like a play or whatever. There's a temptation for that lector to start demonstrating, even by way of intonation, And Jesus said, you can't, then it becomes a theater. So similarly, as choir master, as choir conductor, some of these songs that we compose are like a story. They're like, they are telling a story, maybe a story about Jesus, a story about something. And the temptation is for the choir master or the choir conductor to start demonstrating what is in the song. Now, when you as choir conductor begins to do that, you have turned Mass into a theater. You have turned that song into poetry. It's like people have come to a show, like we've already been saying. People have come to a theater to watch a play. Because those are the only places, or that is the only place, the theater, where people can go and watch somebody demonstrate. As a choir conductor, your duty is to guide. Use your hands to guide the choir. If the song has to end, use your hands to guide that, to indicate. Conduct normally. Now, when you stop using your hands to guide, and then you begin to demonstrate what is in the song, people are going to pick up their phones and they'll start capturing you. So you know what we are talking about. Those type of songs.
Exactly.
Yes. Once you begin to do things like that, you have become a performer. You are an artist. You are not a choir conductor anymore. And people at that point are in a theater. They are not in Mass anymore. So you have turned Mass into your theater. So please, nangufya olwimbo lwameshani balupangashani, do not start demonstrating ati kumuluko tashani kulalepo walolusana kumuluko ngana ali omutanto walani nana omutanto wechikwepe cha mumulu walani nana chikwepe. No, you are there to guide the choir. Use your hands in a very liturgical and normal way.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that point is clear.
It's clear and
Please,
touching.
please.
Clear and touching.
Okay, so we get to the
fourth one.
Fourth commandment. As choir conductor, you are a conductor of the choir, not of the assembly.
Okay.
Yeah. Your duty, when you are doing rehearsals, preparing for that mass, you are doing rehearsals with the choir.
With the choir.
Not with the assembly. The assembly was not there. Maybe even the priest wasn't there. Yes. Everything that you were preparing with the choir. Now we come in church during mass, we see now this choir conductor, moving from one corner of the church to the other, conducting the whole assembly. No, that is wrong. Stick to the choir. Conduct the choir. If you conduct the choir well, the assembly is going to follow what the choir is doing. The assembly is going to be guided by the choir. Now, if you move from this corner to the other corner, you move from one corner of the gua to the other corner of the altar, at that point the mass has turned into something else. So it is important to remember that you are a choir conductor, not assembly conductor. The choir is going to guide the assembly to sing along. Not mbolo mwamba kuli bako. Bakwaya bashiri oko na mpunguchira wombo mbashiri bakwaya. Mwafika kusakire. Mwala imbisha wako. Mwafuma kulia mwafika kumazapuka. Mwala imbisha kumazapuka. Bakwaya mbashiri kurusaka.
Father, we are told that the entire congregation is supposed to participate.
Yes. The choir, the assembly is supposed to participate. That's what I'm saying. The choir is going to guide the assembly to sing along. Bakwaya ngachakwa tina mpekanya bwino. If you have prepared very well, nice songs and songs that people can, you not even have to remind people to sing along. People will just sing along.
Exactly.
That's why the time of preparation is very important. That is where the choir has to do its homework. Ensure that you prepare very well in order, don't come in church and force people to sing with you. No. Come in church, sing and let people feel they need to participate. Because this is what happens, when the assembly is not singing, then the choir master will be forced to
go to them.
No. If you as choir conductor did your homework properly with your choir during rehearsals and you come to mass to sing your songs, to guide the liturgical music, the assembly is going to follow without even having to force them. So, what are we saying here? What we are saying here is, the choir conductor, don't start moving around the church conducting the whole assembly. Stick to the choir, that portion of the choir. Conduct the choir. Conduct those that are playing instruments with you. Yes. Do your job there. The assembly is going to join you without any difficulty.
Exactly.
We move?
We move. It's clear.
So we come to
the
fifth commandment. So now, the fifth commandment, somehow we have already alluded to it, but we can as well just say something about it. So the fifth commandment is the choir conductor must not join into the excitement of the choir. Sometimes the choir can get really excited, and then you begin to see those hidden dance moves from the choir, and they begin to ululate, they begin to do all sorts of things because the song is nice and everybody in the church is vibing with the song. As the choir conductor, you're supposed to remain sober because once you fall into that excitement or you join into that excitement, what is going to happen is that song is not going to end. We'll be singing and singing and singing because the choir conductor has forgotten their role. We'll be singing and singing because the choir conductor has been taken away by what is happening. That's where we see Mazibambo Benangwa libe patience. the priest uzambira chape tipempere nyimbo ikabe kusila.
Yes.
Let us pray because you as choir conductor you were taken by what you didn't remain sober. You got into the excitement of the choir, and at that moment when you get into the excitement of the choir begins to conduct you. It is not you conducting the choir anymore. You are being conducted by the choir. You are being conducted by the assembly. You are being conducted by the mood, by the moment. You are being conducted by everything else. You have forgotten your own. So it's important for choir conductors to remember that always be conscious of the fact that you are the one in charge. You are the one in charge, and be in charge. Now, you know, sometimes there are things like kumankalati basoprano. Choir master apera mpumupela so kwati lupo lwimbo na mputisha lupo lwimbo basoprano bakana. No. Let's sing on. This verse 3. Verse 3. Then the choir master was giving like this. Yes. The song is ending. So now, because of that influence from from the front liners, the soprano authority. So that influence. So this conductor was giving this. All of a sudden, what do you see? So the plane was going down,
landing,
and then woo, because now the choir master, the choir conductor is being conducted by this person has forgotten that they are in charge. We move?
Before we move further, just a little bit, as you are talking, I've just recorded on the fourth commandment. You talked about the choir is not supposed to move and go and conduct elsewhere. Now, just like by the choir, the area of the choir, how are the movements supposed to be like? Is the choir master supposed to be fidgeting around or just standing still?
Okay. Let me put it this way. That's a good question. It is recommended that the choir master or the choir mistress does not move around the choir unnecessarily. Okay? Try as much as, of course, we are also not saying we mean I've got never kubyala. You know, you can have a radius there in front of the choir. You can have a small radius within which you can make your movements as you guide the choir.
Okay.
And that can't even disturb anybody. But where you see the choir conductor going Kliba Tena, coming back, going Kliba Bazi, in order to give them the verse 2, going to around the choir. Now those movements become disturbing, become destructive. Yeah, and they're discouraged. So as choir conductor, ensure that you are at a position where everybody in the choir is able to see you. Don't stand behind the Christmas tree or behind the Easter candle.
Yes.
That's where no. Stand at a place where you know that Babas are able to see you. Then you'll not be forced to be going to the Babazi to give them chorus or whatever. You're going to stand there because everybody is able to see you. When you do your hands like this, everybody is going to see. Usually what causes people to begin to move around the choir, whatever, is because they feel not everybody is able to see them. So position yourself well. But again, as you position yourself, don't stand like a robot. Don't be there as if you make standardities and then it's a sin against God. No, it's not. You can have a small radius just around where you are.
Exactly.
You can have a radius within which to move, to dance with the choir, to give some kind of activity in order also to encourage them, because the choir is depending on you as choir conductor. So the mood that you give them is what they use to sing. Yeah, what motivates them or demotivates them in some cases. So be in a position where first of all everybody in the choir is able to see you, but also don't make exaggerated movements around the choir. No, kabiri bali kanyo kupitana mchechi. So I'll be moving around the choir. No. Again, there some of your movements around the choir could be destructive. Yeah. All so right. Be in front and just maintain a certain radius within which to rotate and do your thing.
Thank you. We can now move on.
Okay, so we get to the 6th commandment. When we talk about the choir, we're talking about also those that are playing instruments. And as choir master, as choir conductor, you don't just learn the art of using hands. You also need to learn the art of listening and being able to tell if there is something that needs to be lowered in terms of sound, or there is a certain sound that needs to go up.
Exactly.
You don't just learn choir conducting with hands. No, there is more to being a choir master or choir conductor. Sometimes about mulimu minsa the keyboard ulechumfira kumutima, and the choir conductor is there and they are okay with that. Okay, the choir conductor is supposed to have the ears to tell and say no, that is too loud. So coordination first of all among those that are playing instruments in terms of the way they are playing, but also in terms of the volumes of what they are playing, lead or rhythm, drums. Are you as choir conductor able to tell that lead is too high, or rhythm is too high, or bass is too low, or the kick is too? Are you able to tell? If you're not able to tell, then you better start learning that art, because it is part of this ministry.
Yes.
Yeah. So that when those people begin to play their instruments, people don't get disturbed in the assembly. Because sometimes you get to hear these sounds and people in the assembly begin to, who is playing that thing?
Yes.
Because it is disturbing. Yeah.
And they can't even get the words.
Exactly.
That are being sung.
And when the instruments are too high, people can't even get the words from the choir. The lyrics, they can't get the voices from the choir, because I know that those instruments, I play instruments myself, so I know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
When you are there, you are playing whatever you're playing, you have been given bass or rhythm or lead, whatever. What you want is what you are playing to be
Yes.
I mean, why? Otherwise, why did they put me here?
Yes, exactly.
What I'm playing should be heard. If I'm playing rhythm, people should hear that I'm playing rhythm. There is rhythm. Or if I'm playing lead, whatever I'm playing, it has to. So there is that. So time to time you will see those guys playing instruments going to the mixer or to the amplifier.
Increase a bit.
But as they do that, what they are doing is they are distorting the harmony which is supposed to be there between the instruments and the choir. Because in the end, you're going to have these instruments that are just too high and people can't get the voices anymore. So as choir conductor, it's important that you constantly check the volumes. Check the volumes, not in the sense of literally going to the mixer, but listen to the sounds. Listen and be able to tell whether that particular instrument is too high or is too low. Be able to you should have the ears that tell that. Once you sort out that, like the volumes of the lead, rhythm, bass, and everything else there. Once that is sorted out, the next thing that you need to look at now is the coordination between this that you have sorted out, this that you have harmonized, and the voices. Because this can be harmonized, but then it is again too high for the voices to be heard. So that is the next thing. You regulate now the volume or the harmony between the instruments and the choir. Now, one thing that many instrumentalists forget, even choir conductors, is that instruments are supposed to be an accompaniment.
Yes.
Instruments are supposed to accompany the voices, not the voices accompanying the instruments. Instruments should accompany the voices. And I have to emphasize this. Instruments are supposed to accompany the voices, not the other way. Because people have to get the message from the voices, from the song. Some people will not get the homily. They will not remember anything that Father preached, but they're going to remember that one song that touched them. And that is what they're going to go back home with, singing. And that song has ministered to them. And they are able to feel ministered to by that song because the song was loud enough for them to understand the words in that particular song. Now, in a situation where you have instruments higher than the voices, people will be dancing in church, yes, but they don't even know what they're dancing to because they can't get the voices. So instruments are only an accompaniment and not the main thing, not to be the lead thing. The lead is the choir, it is the voices.
Exactly.
That is it. That is very important.
Okay, we got to the
Where are we?
7th one.
We are
On
okay.
Number 7.
Maybe I should also mention before we get to the 7th commandment, let me mention quickly that those playing instruments also need to be guided. Sometimes the way they play, it's like you're in a concert, you know. It's like they are playing in a nightclub, you know. It's like a band playing at some function. Yeah. Those things, those things, no. Those are things that you do elsewhere in mass, no, because those things turn mass into a concert.
I was going to ask something on that, then I just avoided because I know that area is some kind of huge topic, most especially to talk about. Then I realized to say we still have other commandments. If you don't mind.
No, we needed to mention this.
Yes.
It's important that we mention it.
Then I can ask my question
yes.
on that one.
Yes.
When the song is playing, like, are we supposed to you just leave the instruments first for some time, the instruments play the singing when the choir is just quiet? Is that supposed to happen?
You know, when you're playing the instruments, there are those things that we call at kapos. Those who play instruments know understand this language. Kapos. But it's a kapos kabwanj. Oh, kaso. Then there are also those things they call tuma solo. Apari kasolo kabwanji ekuteka. There is also now that if you're not playing that kasolo thing, the alternative is to go through the song.
Yes.
Yeah. So now there are those tuma posi which are not tuma posi but tuma solo, which are neutral, which are not exaggerated. Okay, which are very Catholic. Yes. Yeah, those can be played, but again, they should not be played leading into you know no, that's why there has to be proper coordination between the conductor and those playing instruments, so that the instrumentalists know or are guided when exactly to end that solo. Now, I know those that play instruments find it very difficult to play the Catholic solo. Okay, in the end, they don't even know what a Catholic solo is. We highly encourage that they, when the choir conductor gives them, I don't know, so that the instruments play alone, the better option is to just play the song. Go through the song, go through the chorus of the song with the lead. After that is done, go through kapos, totuma pause in between stanzas. Play that pause. At the end of that pause, get back to the choir.
To the choir.
Yeah. Now, if you're going to play a solo, that now leads people to tin 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 tweet. Then we are in a concert. Yeah, we are in Ndombolo solo kind of thing, and that is not okay. That is not okay. That's why it is important. I end with this comment on this one. It is important for instrumentalists to go through programs of formation, so that they are guided on in issues of liturgical music.
Exactly.
So that when they come to play in mass, they remember that they are not in that other place. They are in mass, and therefore this is how they are supposed to play.
Very big problem there. We need education, most especially to the instrumentalists.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, a lot of it. So we move
further.
Where are we?
Point number 7.
7th commandment. It's a short and simple one. As choir master, choir conductor, be time conscious. Very important. Don't compete with Babambo. No Babambo preacher 1 hour. Bazachuona. naye ffe tizayimba
Naize tizayimba.
tizayimba 1 hour kaya wamakamba yo time no. Why should he preach for 1 hour? We are also going to sing this song for whatever. Don't compete. No, don't compete with the priest. Be time, as a choir conductor, if you're going to stand in front there without a wristwatch, better just sit down. Every choir conductor must have a wristwatch on their hand. It must be a requirement. It must be a requirement. If I'm going to be parish priest somewhere, this is one of the things that I'm going to introduce in the parish. If you are choir master, choir mistress, and you're not wearing a wristwatch during
not
mass,
supposed to be there.
please take your seat. Bring somebody else. You are supposed to wear a wristwatch that is working, so that you are constantly checking, because you are supposed to be time conscious. And I repeat, don't compete with anybody else in church, not with Babambo, no. You know that this song must take so much time. Don't take too long unnecessarily, because this is the last mass. Kaiponopo Parish, we have 3 masses.
Yes.
The last mass we can finish anytime. No. People have other things to do. We can't say no, since it is the last mass, therefore we can finish anytime. Otherwise, those who are not very patient might start leaving us. Be time conscious. And sometimes, when you have done your rehearsals, maybe during your rehearsals a particular song was taking 5 minutes. Maybe Gloria, it was taking 7 minutes. Okay, that is how you timed it. But then it happens that the mass in which you come to sing for whatever reason has not started at the time that it was supposed to start. Maybe it starts 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later. Okay? It means that even your songs have to be adjusted. Yes. Don't say, whatever time mass started, our song has to take 7 minutes, because this is how we rehearsed. As choir conductor, you have the power to make adjustments. So if, for example, if you were singing verse 1 twice, what do?
Just sing once.
You sing once, so that the song is short. I'm conscious.
What could be the standard time? You've just given an example. I take, for instance, if you did rehearse for 7 minutes. That was an example. So what could be the standard time for at least a song in the liturgy?
There's no standard time. It all depends on the nature of the song. Even when you talk of glorious songs,
yes,
there are some glorious songs that are short, others are really long, because maybe the person that composed that particular song, the chorus has a lot of things. Yes. Thanksgiving song, some are 3 minutes, others have. There is no really standard time per se. The choir conductor must use his or her discretion. That's why it is important to have a wristwatch, so that you are able to check the time and see how much time we have left before we get to another part of the liturgy. For example, when we are singing the Holy Holy Sanctus, sometimes it takes unnecessarily too long, because the choir has to do the verses twice, choruses, I don't know how many times. So you're just literally waiting for the choir to finish singing the Sanctus or the Lamb of God. A song that could have been done in 2 minutes, a song that could have been done in 3 minutes, has taken 7 minutes. Exactly. And you're wondering, we okay?
We move.
We need to move. Commandment number 8. Choir conductor. The same way that we spoke about the lector. Choir conductor, choir conductress. Remember that you are standing in front of everybody. All eyes are on you. Dress appropriately. Put the right colors on you. Not tema colors are to wala abantu menso. Otherwise you become a point of distraction. Yes. Ladies, makeup. If you are a love of heavy makeup kind of, when you know that you're going to be in church singing, be moderate. No heavy makeup. Otherwise you become whatever you become. Gentlemen, please don't come to conduct ne jersey ya Chelsea or jersey ya Manchester United. Dress appropriately. Be smart. You know, you don't have to wear a tie or whatever, but a shirt, tucking, you know, just something moderate, something not. Yeah, I think the point is clear.
Yes, most especially most choirs now are getting into uniforms, maybe to avoid such.
Yes. Yes, many choirs now have uniforms, but sometimes I see that the choir conductor is going to have a different uniform. Yeah, and in trying to be different from the choir, and that's why they might, you know, wear something that is not appropriate.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's important for not to kusashira muri kuntanjina musashira ishati ya green bazuru.
The ninth one, Father, we are getting to the 9 minutes of our program, but I would love us to exhaust.
We are going to finish them.
Yes.
These are very short, the remaining ones. 9th commandment, especially male conductors. Don't come drunk. Yeah, don't come drunk. Don't say, I conduct properly. No. Icon. That is not the Holy Spirit. What you are coming there with a different spirit. So please be sober, extremely sober, very sober, and conduct in a very sober manner.
And that's the temptation with most men, especially when they are coming to sing. Most of them, it's
please do not take any substance that is going to alter the state of your mind. Come sober. Just take tea or water. Then come and conduct in a very sober. The last commandment. We are on the 10th commandment. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Let me just counter check. Yes, we are on the last commandment. Choir conductor, choir conductress, maintain eye contact with the main presider. That is also important. The presider, the priest might want to communicate something to you as choir, as a choir through you. So also a passage Ishibabambo, and without even have a way of communicating with the priest or eye contact with the priest. Yeah, for many reasons that is important. For many reasons, because if you don't maintain that eye contact as you are conducting, we're just going to hear, let us pray, and then you will be.
Embarrassing.
Exactly. So we have to avoid those moments. So as you are singing, especially songs like Mutulo songs, when the priest is still, preparing the altar, as you are conducting that Mutulo song, the last Mutulo song, you constantly check behind that eye contact with the priest so that you get to understand at what point the priest is. Series of bamboo or can I give another chorus or no? Can I, those kind of things. But if you are just conducting, you don't know what is happening behind. The priest might be struggling to communicate something to you, but then you are then the next thing you hear is, let us pray. Yeah.
Well, Father, I think we haven't exhausted on this topic. I feel we still have a lot to learn.
Really?
Yes, we still have a lot to learn. You talked about quite all right. We're talking about the choir conductor, some kind of guitarists, but the entire choir now. Are we going to have time for just the role of the choir in particular?
Yeah, we can come and talk about the choir proper.
Yes.
Because today our focus was on the choir conductor. But we can come and talk about the choir itself as a ministry on its own. Because the choir is a ministry and the choir conductor is also a ministry.
Yes.
And all these have to go through liturgical formation for them to know what exactly they need to do as they come to sing in Mass. So, yeah, there's no problem. Next time we can come and talk about liturgical music. Now, with special focus on the choir.
Yes, and the appropriate songs that are supposed to be sung.
How to pick songs, how to what should be the entrance song, and the things like that. Sometimes the choir struggles in those areas. We can come and talk about issues like that.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you to you too.
It's been a quite educative topic, and a lot to learn still. Wait for the next
Yes, please.
topic.
Yes, please. I'm already looking forward to it.
Indeed. And I'm very sure our dear viewer out there has also enjoyed and learned a lot about what has been discussed and thought about. I believe and understand that if you are that one out there and you've been making those mistakes, today you've heard it for yourselves, and let's make a difference, most especially the next time we are going to stand in front of the choir and conducting. You know, we are doing these programs not just for entertainment, but this is an education. We are going to learn from this program. This has been My Catholic Faith with me, Josephine Sonda, and indeed our priest, Father Athan Tembla, who has always been there and is always going to be there as long as God says yes. This is where we come to the end. Have a blessed day. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mighty Father, I believe. Do you believe?
Yes, I believe.
You created heaven and earth. Do you believe?